Welcome back. In the previous video we installed Java, Eclipse and Goal and created our first example project. In this video I'll explain a little bit more about this example project and different features in editing Goal files. So the main entry point of Goal agent or Goal agent system, I have to say, is this MAS2G file with which stands for multi-agent system to Goal, in which we define one or more agents that have to be run. So in this example, we only define one agent, the hello world agent, which is launched immediately without conditions. This agent is composed of only one module, which is hello world. This references this file, hello world.mod2g, which stands for module to goal. And in this file, the main logic of the agent is can be found, which in this case is just if true, then print hello world, we saw happening. Now here we have a little warning which says the file is empty, which is true. This dummy.pl is empty, but we need it anyway because Goal needs to know which knowledge representation language we're using, which in this case and all examples is Prolog, or more specifically SWI Prolog. You can find more about Prolog online on swi/prolog.org. This is used to define the knowledge representation rules, which I'll get back into it later. This one simply does print hello world and exit, because exit is always. So we go to the next file here, which is hello world 10 times.mas2g. We again see a hello world agent, but with some more modules. So this first module, init counter, is the init module, which is run only once to initialize the agent, and it's here. And now this is a little bit more advanced example where we also see Prolog interaction a little bit more. So now we use the counter as knowledge, which is this file, counter.pl. Here we declare a predicate. So this double dot dash means dynamic, means we're going to declare something, and we declare the predicate number of printed lines 1. Which shows here there's number of printed lines with one argument, which in this case is a number. So this says, if true, so always, we insert that we currently printed 0 lines. We adopt that we want to print 10 lines at some point. We call these beliefs, beliefs about the current state of the world, and we call this goals, things we want to achieve. If we go back to the MAS2G file, as we see that hello world 10 times is the main module. So again, here's the main logic of the agent. And this says, okay, if we have the goal to print some number of lines, this underscore means just something, then we print world. And this time we only exit if there are no goals anymore. Because there's only one goal in this case, we exit if number of printed lines 10 has been achieved. Finally, in the agent definition, we see that update counter is used as the event module. The event module is run anytime an action is executed in the main module, which in this case is print. And we see in this module, so again that is run after each print, we check the current belief about number of printed lines. So for example, initially 0, because we put it here. We increment the number and we delete the old belief. So for example, number of printed lines 0, because these count variables match, and we insert the new belief, updated by 1. Again, this is all Prolog statements inside of these brackets. So this will simply, after each print, update the number belief by 1. And we can see an action here, so you can just right click on an MAS2G file, run as goal, and here we see it very quickly printed hello world 10 times. So here, for example, initially you see we initialize it to 0, we adopt the goal to have 10 at some point, and then we run the main module, which simply prints it. You can see here, there's nothing else, and after the print, the event module is run, which for Goal agent signifies the start of a new cycle. Won't go into much details about this Again, you can find more. Well, not again, you can find more in the Goal agent programming guide, which is on the wiki. If we go back to the main page, there's a big link with tutorials and documentation here. And here is the Goal programming guide, which we can download and open. And here there are extensive documentation about Goal agents, including examples. So this whole Hello World example is actually explained step by step. It even contains some exercises, so it's a really comprehensive guide about everything you need to know about a Goal agent, including the reasoning cycle, which I just explained very quickly here, many stuff in much more detail. But for now, let's just see this example. So in the event module, which is run after the first sprint, we, like I said, delete the one with 0 and insert a new belief with 1. And then after the event module is done, the main module is run again. Until, in this case, this exit is no goals condition is reached, which is here. After printing 10 times, the goal is reached, and the agent will stop. Finally, there's also an example which uses a little environment to print in instead of to this more debug kind of console. And it will be very quick. It will be gone already. In my next video, I'll go into more details about how you debug these agents so you can run them more step by step. But in this video, I want to show some more small features of the editor. So for example, by right-clicking on the projects, you can create new files, like a new module, or a new knowledge or file easily. Or if you want to, you can go to File, New, and create a new project altogether, for example. This will automatically create a new project with an initial multi-agent system specification file from which you can start adding agents and everything. And as you can see already here, for example, we generate an error, which is because the system cannot find which knowledge representation language we're using, which again is why we have the dummy here. If you open the Problems tab below here, you can see an overview of all warnings and errors in the project. So again, we have this warning about dummies being empty. We can ignore this. Let's create an error too, for example. So if we go to hello world 10 times and remove this argument, we can see the error that number of printed lines without any argument does not exist. Again, because we defined it with 1 here. With 0 here, then we probably get many more errors in different places. But in this file, it will no longer generate an error. Let's put it back to 1. And then we see the error coming back here and also below here. Non-printed lines without any argument does not exist. So that was it for this video. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. In the next video, I'll talk more about debugging Goal agents.